Hi, I'm your host, Psychotic Mr. L, and welcome back to my channel. If you're here with us today, you're watching the video for Robocop Rogue City Unfinished Business. Funny thing about this game is it actually was originally supposed to be a DLC for the original Robocop, just Rogue City game, and that game was absolutely fantastic. If you're a huge Robocop fan like I am, you'll absolutely enjoy it. Just one of those games where you sit back, you enjoy it, you play it, you love it. Doesn't take that long to beat, doesn't take that long to get all the achievements in it. Now, the game does have 25 achievements in it. It takes roughly around 10 to 12 hours to fully complete the game. If you do some planning and stuff, you can get all the achievements in one full playthrough. I got all of them in one full playthrough. Most of the achievements are story related or something that you'll just do automatically to unlock them. There are a total of 10 missable achievements in the game. No glitchy achievements or unattainable achievements or anything like that, but there are 10 missable achievements. Now, with a little bit of planning and stuff, like I said, you can get them all in one playthrough, but honestly, out of the 10 missable ones, you'll probably get 7 or 8 of them without even really trying anyways, because they're just from stuff that you probably just do naturally while playing the game. The other 2 or 3 that you potentially need to plan for, I'm going to show you in this video how to unlock all of them, how you get them, what choices and stuff like that you have to make in order to unlock them. Now, anybody that has been watching me, thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you've been watching my other videos, I've been talking about, the 100 subscriber challenge. I still have that going on. This is the game that I will get all the achievements in. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. And that's all I really have to say about that, because I'm really not that excited to doing it when it eventually happens, but I will do it for you, for your entertainment, to watch me suffer playing this damn game. And I will make an actual video where I edit it and put love and time into it for some weird reason. So, come and join me and watch me on my journey to get all the achievements in this game. So, let's jump in. So the beginning of the game starts off pretty strong. It takes place immediately after the events of the actual Robocop Rogue City game. So essentially, the police station gets attacked by a bunch of mercenaries, and Robocop shows up to investigate exactly what went on here. And as you can see, there's definitely something weird going on, because there's a whole bunch of guys that are dead nice over here. And you're kind of like, what, is Mr. Freeze here? Arnold Schwarzenegger? What? But no, that's not really what it is. And we'll find out later what it is. But other than that, the frozen people are really the only interesting part of the story that you find here in Mission 1 in the police precinct, until the end of the mission, where you find Officer Warren Reed. He's the sheriff from the 3 movies, and that unlocks my first achievement in the game for finding him and completing Mission 1. Unfinished business. He then pretty much tells us what we already know about the mercenaries attacking the place, and that he's pissed off and a lot of cops are dead, and he's pissed off about that, and Robocop's pretty pissed off too. And then Robocop ends up saying the title of the game, and that's how you know you can take the game seriously from here on out.
Unfinished business, unfinished business, unfinished business.
We then get the title screen of the game with Robocop Rogue City Unfinished Business, and we end up seeing Omni Tower, which is this gigantic building right here that Robocop's driving up to, and that's where the entire game takes place. And then pretty much right away we start killing a bunch of dudes because they start attacking Robocop. And I actually really love the shooting in this game, though it's a little bit basic compared to other first-person shooters. There's just something about it that has like that old school feel and vibe to it, and you're slow and bulky and stuff, but it just feels good. It feels right. Like you still feel invincible like Robocop, because all these guys are shooting you and they're just bouncing off you kind of, and you have a lot of health and you just massacre these people, and it's just really fun. And this is one of the things about the game that I really like, that is one of the reasons why I wanted to get the first game to begin with, and one of the reasons why I still enjoyed this game with it. So if you ever really enjoy one of those, games where you just sit back, you relax, you just kill a bunch of guys, and you just don't stop, and you go crazy with it, and you see heads explode, and legs explode, and arms explode off, and stuff like that, trust me, you'll really love this game. Just play it. It's fantastic. Now, shortly after that huge fighting area where you're killing a bunch of guys, I get my next achievement in the game for doing a takedown on a guy. It's very easy. There's going to be lots of opportunities for this, and essentially it teaches you how to do it. So it's kind of story related, but there'll be certain items around the environment that you can do a takedown on. One of them's like this electrical panel right here, and it teaches you how to do the takedown. You just kind of have to be in the area of that item and the guy, press the button, take down him, and that's it. And that's my next achievement. Oh. So we then run into this computer with this AI right here who ends up telling us what we pretty much already know, and that's that the building's being taken over by mercenaries, and that they're using the building to actually do drug smuggling and weapon smuggling and all sorts of stuff out of it. But the computer isn't 100% sure of exactly what they're doing. But somehow the mercenaries pretty much catch on right away, and they make the computer explode in order to hurt Robocop. He then gets woken up by a mysterious voice in his head from the radio that ends up helping him out and trying to get him through the door in order to get out of the area, because the voice kind of needs him to help her with something, and vice versa. And this is when we unlock our next achievement for our meeting the mysterious ally. Got an achievement for something. Mysterious ally. Then a little bit down the ways, after killing a whole bunch of bad guys, you'll eventually run into this room right here. It's like a little pantry area with food and stuff in it. And you'll meet this little dude right here. He pretty much says that he's your #1 fan, but he doesn't believe you're the real Robocop, so he asks you some questions that only the real Robocop would know. And you have to answer them all correctly in order to unlock an achievement. So, yep, I answer them right here, and this is my next achievement in the game.
To meet you, I should have known from the start. I won't hold you any longer. We'll lock up this place. Go, protect the innocent.
Then a little bit further into the story, you'll get to an area where it looks like a bunch of apartment complexes or apartment buildings or whatever in here. And you just kill a bunch of guys, and I go through here and kill a bunch of more guys. But at the end of this area, you'll end up meeting this character, Stella. At the moment, she isn't really that important to the story, but she will become a little bit more important to the story as the story goes on later down in the story, if that makes any sense. But at the moment, you're just kind of rescuing her for story-related purposes. And then pretty much at the end of the mission, you get all the way to this gigantic trash compactor area that you've been trying to get to. You want to use this to pretty much get through the rest of the building and sneak your way through. That completes mission 1, known as the Lion's Den, and unlocks me my next achievement in the game for doing so. Then for actually beating that mission itself, I get an A ranking, which unlocks another achievement for me. And how this works is pretty much the more things you get completed during a mission, at the end of the mission you get a ranking for it, like an evaluation. This all depends on completing the main quest itself, while also completing whatever side quests might be in the area, and whatever collectibles like evidence that you may find lying around that also might be in the area. Doing as much of that as possible as you can. I don't know the exact score you have to get to. I think it's different depending on the level. So I guess it goes more by the percentage of how much you complete in that level. But that's when you get ranked. You can get an A, B, C, D. I guess you can get an F2 if you just completely do nothing but the main quest. I'm not sure. But yeah, so there is an achievement for getting ranked A, and I do get it on this mission. Now, the very next mission starts us off right away in that trash compactor that we were trying to get to the entire time. There actually is an achievement in this room as well, because the roof is slowly starting to come down on top of you, and you need to hit all of the switches in one go in under 40 seconds to stop the roof. So that is the next achievement I get in the game. Then a little further into the mission, we end up getting into a whole town that somehow ends up being in this building. It's fucking crazy. I don't know how there's an entire town in here. There's actually kind of multiple ones of them. You'll see later. But the first one we get to is this one right here, known as No Town.
This is the place. Let me know once you find out the code.
Now, while going through No Town and following the main quest of the game, I eventually run into a cat right here, which I end up petting. And this is my next achievement in the game for petting a cat. Achievement. Petting that pussy. Now, pretty much the entire main story of No Town was just to pretty much help out all the people who live there, or pretty decent amount of the people who live there, until you end up saving this kid and return him to the mom, and then the mom gives you a code in order to open the gate. Now, that mysterious ally from earlier is still there. She's still been talking to you this entire time, and then pretty much after doing all this, she kind of trusts you a little bit more. So you find out who she is and what her name is, so you learn the identity of her, and you end up learning that her name is Miranda, and that's my next achievement in the game for learning her identity. I got an achievement for something. Then in the middle of getting our asses handed to us, we end up getting to a door that helps us out a lot. That then finishes up mission number 3, Down the Rabbit Hole, which is just trying to get to this communication center right here, and that unlocks me my next achievement in the game. Yeah. Don't really understand what I was doing, but... We then start the fourth mission with meeting the main antagonist of the game and the leader of the mercenaries, who also happens to just have one of the most badass names ever, Cassius Graves. But from here on out, just to save time, I'm just going to call him Graves. Anyways, so Graves pretty much wants you to just stay out of his way, and he actually knows you somehow. He keeps calling you Murphy, he knows your name, he says things about you, knows things about you, and Robocop's just kind of like, what? So in a way, Graves does know you, and we're going to get to that here pretty quickly, actually. But pretty much the whole point of this scene is for him to tell you to stay out of his way while he completes his mission, whatever that may be, and to just introduce you to the main antagonist of the game and leader of the mercenaries, Cassius Graves. Now, the entire fourth mission is just a flashback before the events of Robocop 1, where Murphy is still human and still Murphy. And then this is where you actually meet Cassius Graves. He's actually another cop that you worked with years ago, and he actually happened to be one of your friends and by your side. Now, pretty much what happens is while we're hanging out with all of them, we get a call on a lead that there's a huge thing going down with the gang in the industrial plant area of the city. So you all go there to investigate it, see what's going on. I actually get a quick achievement knocked out of the way here, which is for dying on this mission as Murphy. I'm assuming it's an achievement just to make fun of the stab that, oh, if he dives before the events of Robocop 1, then all the other games will never happen, so it makes no sense to absolutely die here. I couldn't believe, like, even on this normal difficulty, how quickly you die. You just die in like a couple of shots, so it's actually quite easy to do, and you'll most likely just get it without even realizing that you're gonna get it, because I just ran into the guys thinking it would take a while, but no, it took like 2 shots.
Someone's coming.
Approach with caution.
Okay. Then at the end of the mission, you realize what's really going on, and one of your partners ends up dying from an explosion. This ends up pissing off Graves really badly, and he kind of loses all faith in like humanity as being a cop and thinking that a cop is going to make real change in the world. So this kind of gives a little backstory as to why he becomes like a huge mercenary instead. He kind of feels like being a cop failed him and just ended up getting people he cared about killed and stuff like that and made no real change. So he decided to become something bigger than himself in order to make the change himself. You know what I mean? I then unlock my next achievement in the game for completing the mission Weight of the Badge. So obviously with everything going on in the next mission of the game, Robocop wants to make it a top priority to get to the leader of the mercenaries, get to Graves, kill him, stop him, figure out what he was trying to do to begin with, and make sure he just doesn't complete his goal. Along the way there, we get to a really awesome, like, Wild West section of the map that is just so cool. I just really liked it. You have a big, powerful gun, and you're just mowing down guys, and it's freaking awesome. Just like a little Wild West ghost town kind of thing in here randomly out of nowhere. Now, for the most part, this mission actually involves doing 3 different objectives, and there isn't an actual achievement for completing the mission itself. So the only achievement related to this mission is for completing this specific food hall part of the mission, which it just happens to be this part, and it just happens to be the first objective that I chose to do out of the 3. I think it's supposed to be chosen last, kind of, with how the order you do it, but I just happened to choose it first. So anyways, completing the food hall section of this mission, that's my next achievement in the game.
Hey, you! Government tool of oppression. You are busting my position, man. You can't...
Now, the reason why you're doing these 3 different objectives for this mission is because you actually find out that Graves was able to capture Miranda. So your whole thing here is you're trying to get to her in order to save her from Graves and make sure she doesn't get hurt or killed. But it's only at this point that you learn that actually she's been working with Graves the entire time. Not really because she really wanted to, but she was kind of forced to. But pretty much this entire time, she's actually been tricking you into coming here and into doing certain things that would benefit Graves in some way. And unfortunately, this just kind of is a blow to the back, you know, or stomach, or head, or balls, or whatever you want to say. But it just ends up hurting Robocop, and it just sucks because he ends up, you know, he makes a friend, and then she ends up just backstabbing him, you know. And then with that being said, that completes the 5th mission in the game, and like I said, there is no achievement for completing this mission for some reason. Then pretty much right away, right after that, we play mission 6, which is a very short flashback mission called The Perfect Pitch. This is where we actually play as Miranda to see how she got to the events going on in the game of Unfinished Business. So back in the past, she was actually just walking down the street one day, and she ended up being assaulted by a bunch of guys and hit. She got cut across the eye, and I don't know if she's actually blind in the eye. At one point, it looks like she is, but I'm not really sure. But she actually gets assaulted by a bunch of guys. A couple of years go by and she tries to get in touch with OCP about some technology that she thinks would be useful with helping them out and making the streets safer and making it better for people and stuff like that. But they keep ignoring her, they keep not listening to her, and even with emails, they kind of rub it in her face a little bit that, you know, they know she hasn't been working and stuff ever since she had gotten assaulted and stuff like that, and they really kind of just don't care. That's when she runs into Graves. Well, not really run into him, but more like she gets an email from somebody saying that they want to meet and they want to listen to everything that she has to say. And she's kind of really happy about going it because she thinks it's going to be for OCP, but it's really not going to be for OCP. And then that's when you meet this butthole right here. I can't really remember his name, but just let's call him Sergeant Butthole. He ends up being Graves' like right-hand man kind of thing, and he's going to take you to where he is. Sergeant Butthole here takes you to wherever Graves is hiding out. And this is where I unlock my next achievement in the game for completing the mission, the perfect pitch. It's kind of weird. It gives you this achievement right here before you actually finish out the mission. But anyways, that's the next achievement in the game.
Dr. Hale, it's good to finally meet you. Let's sit.
Now, pretty much with this one-on-one mission with Graves, he ends up convincing you that his way is better and what he has planned is better and doing the mercenary thing is better for the city, and that she's pretty much got nothing in return for being a good citizen except assaulted and hurt and everything else. And she still deeply believes in like doing the right thing and stuff like that, and she has a conscience and stuff, but in a way, Graves makes a very strong point that regardless of doing the right thing or not, she still got hurt. So Graves has a lot of faith in her because he does realize she's very smart. She does have the intelligence for the device thing that she wants to create. So he gives her like a little test and he goes, hey, here's the two assholes that assaulted you earlier. You know what I mean? You remember them? I captured them for you. What do you want to do about it? Here's a button that does something. Do you want to press it or not press it? And in a way, this kind of just proves his point that in a way, what's going on in the city isn't working. These guys have been on the street the whole time, never caught, and, you know, they weren't caught from the police, but somehow, you know, Graves was able to do it without so much as breaking a sweat. So that's when she kind of decides to join them, and that's how she ended up joining him from the beginning. So then we go back to the present day of the story, in the beginning of Mission 7, and Graves is, you know, talking to Robocop and just saying that how, you know, he's going to win and blah, 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 you know, typical bad guy stuff. But you remember from earlier in this video where I talked about people being randomly frozen to death at the police station? Well, now we know who did it, because Graves pulls out the ultimate, you know, Mr. Freeze gun from Batman and Robin. And then he kind of aims it at you and he hits you with it, and miraculously it just doesn't affect Robocop. So Robocop breaks out of the ice, and that's the beginning of Mission 7. And Graves gets upset that the gun actually didn't work on you, so he takes Miranda and he leaves. So in turn, I take the ice gun and I decide to kill a whole bunch of people with it because it's fucking awesome. And then not too long into the story, I run into this asshole right here, Otomo. You know, those Asian-styled samurai robot guys from Robocop 3? Well, anyways, this is where I unlock my next achievement in the game for killing one of them and then picking up his katana and using that to kill another one of them. Yeah. Continue on with the main story, eventually you'll run back into Stella, and she pretty much tells you that she's also trying to get to the top of this huge tower building thing you're in. That just happens to be where also Graves is located, so that's where you're trying to go as well. But the only way to get up there is to go through the labs where a whole bunch of scientists are, and in order to get through there, you're going to have to help them with something as well. But Stella gives you the card key in order to get into the labs, and that's pretty much all she's here for at the moment. So Stella helps you get into the labs, and at first you're just trying to get a card reader, something that can override one of the cards in order to open the gate here in order to get to the higher floors, but it ends up somehow turning into like a murder mystery, and you end up having to solve this dude's murder right here, who ends up getting killed, and there's a whole conspiracy theory about it, and you're kind of investigating it. So then as Robocop, you go and do the investigation, and you ask Dr. Mary if she knows anything about it, and she's all nervous, and she's like, nah, I don't know shit, man. And then you go question Dr. Valerie, and she pretty much says the same thing, I don't know shit, man. And then you find another dead scientist who happened to have died from a poisoned cigarette, but then you find out that Dr. Mary did know some shit, man, and that she was actually sleeping with the first guy that you found dead, and that she had lied to you and she tried to hide it because apparently people here aren't supposed to sleep with each other or have relationships with each other. And she swears up and down that she had nothing to do with him dying now, but apparently, you know, she did know some shit and she was, you know, sleeping with the guy that died. So you go back to Valerie's office again and you end up finding out there's actually a whole bunch of evidence here against her about this poison. There's actually a, you know, a board with a whole bunch of stuff drawn about it. There's dead rats that are poisoned by it. There's also a cup filled that has poison residue in it, and there just happens to be all this poison stuff from the same poison that was in the cigarettes that killed the 2 guys. So the only next logical thing to do is to go talk to Valerie at her house. Now, pretty much right away in front of Valerie's house, when you get there, there's going to be this kid sitting over here. You're going to want to talk to him about some stuff because he's related to an achievement that we actually needed to unlock. You talk to him, and he actually wants to draw a picture of a cop, and he wants your insight of exactly what that should look like. Now, the whole goal here is to actually give him some pointers, but to also piss him off in the end in order to unlock the achievement. So make sure you're giving him these answers right here, because that's the only way to unlock the achievement.
What do you think, Mr. Police Officer?
This drawing lacks several details.
Oh, then maybe it's better not to show it to Sarah. I don't want her to feel worse.
You then catch up to Valerie in another lab to confront her about all the murders and stuff, and then pretty much right away she admits to it. And then pretty much right away after that she dies. And now because Valerie is dead, you go back to Stella and she's able to make you a whole new card in order to get to the higher floors. Now once you get to the higher floors, you just go on a huge killing spree in order to get to Miranda's office. Now while investigating her office, you get to her emails on the computer and you start reading them. And this is when you found out a kind of twist and shocker of the story is that Miranda is actually the reason why you became Robocop. She wanted to start the Robocop program with OCP, and she made it to where you were put into a district that's way more dangerous in order to increase your chances of dying so that they can actually turn you into Robocop. And finding this out on the email actually is my next achievement in the game for finding it out, because I guess it is technically missable if you don't read the emails, so make sure you just read all of them, but that's essentially what you find out, and then it's my next achievement in the game.
I know you're listening. You need to pass through Gate 4. The code is...
That then pretty much closes out the next mission in the game, which is Mission 7, Ice and Steel. Miranda does want to kind of help us now at this point. She kind of feels bad because she realizes, one, it was kind of her fault this happened to Murphy, and two, she realizes that Murphy's still in there. He's not really a robot. And completing the mission is my next achievement in the game. You're then in this room filled with ice, and obviously there's a lot of dead people in here, and it's just a bunch of people that must have gotten trapped. And for some reason this time, the freezing process works on Robocop. Not exactly sure why it works this time, but just for some reason it does. Now, Mission 8 starts off right away with Graves, and now he has you under control, he has you captured, there's really nothing you can do about it, and you can't escape. And he just talks to you about typical bad guy stuff and how he's going to complete his goal on his mission and blah, 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 blah. And then he shows you the traitor. Remember Sergeant Butthole? Well, apparently he's a traitor. Now, for some reason for this mission, you play as Sergeant Butthole. I'm not really sure as to why you play as him or why it's very important, but they dedicated an entire mission to you playing as him. Essentially, he's a traitor because he feels as though Graves is going down and his plan really isn't working, and Robocop's there and stopping everything from going according to plan. So Sergeant Butthole convinces all these other guys that Graves is going down, and they're just kind of like, yeah, you know what? You're right. We're going to join you. He is going down. So Sergeant Butthole just kind of starts talking to him, and he's like, all right, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go turn off these things. We're going to go turn off these things. We're going to turn off the drones on the ceiling. We're going to turn off the drones on the floor. We're just going to do all this stuff. You guys are going to do it while I just kind of walk around the building, because that's essentially all you do in this mission. And then we're going to get on the roof. We're going to get on the helicopter, and we're going to leave with a bunch of money. And that's it. That's pretty much all that happens this mission. I honestly really don't even know why this mission is in here. Maybe I missed something or overlooked something. But anyways, the mission comes to a close when Sergeant Butthole has to actually go into Graves' office and investigate some stuff to try to get the information for the helicopter on the roof. And then that's my next achievement in the game for completing Mission 8, Who's the Bad Guy? And obviously this is when Graves catches Sergeant Butthole in his office, and this is when he deems him as, a traitor. And then, Sergeant Butthole gets what he deserves. So Mission 9 starts off right away pretty damn strong, where Miranda has a way of freeing you from Graves' capture, and by doing this, she uses the ED-209. You know, that big clunky robot guy from the first movie? Well, you're going to actually play as him for a little bit for a mission, and it's actually really, really, really damn fun. You just kind of use this big dude, you go through the area, you just use rockets and machine guns, and you just kill a buttload of guys. Just go through the area killing absolutely everything. It's awesome. You feel the power. You have so much health and stuff that the bullets don't even really affect you. And you're just going through the area, just stampeding over everything and just destroying and annihilating everything. It's fucking great. There actually is a really cool achievement here too. It's actually kind of funny too, and that's the next achievement I unlock in the game, and it's for actually trying to use a stairway while playing as this thing, and as you know from the movies, that doesn't work out too well. So then finally, with the help of the ED-209, you're able to break into the facility where Robocop is being held, and he's with Miranda, and then Miranda gets in there and she's like, all right, cool, I'm freeing you, Robocop, I'm making it up to you like I promised. Robocop's a little hesitant. He doesn't really trust her still. He's still kind of like, well, you know, if it wasn't for you, I really wouldn't be in this predicament, you bitch. And yeah, but she's trying to prove it to him. She's trying to show him that she, you know, that she changed, and Robocop's all about second chances, I guess. So he's willing to give Miranda one, and he also needs to get his gun back, which she says she knows where it is. And that's pretty much it for the rest of the mission. You're just trying to get back to your good old trusty gun. And eventually you do get it, and then that's my next achievement in the game for getting it back.
Gun workshop. Is your weapon in there?
It is where it belongs.
It is now he.
You can use the elevator on this floor.
That then finishes out Mission 9, Urban Pacification, and there is no achievement for completing this mission because the achievement itself is for getting the gun back, so this is like the only mission that doesn't have an actual achievement for completing. You then start Mission 10 in an apartment / like grocery store area. Continuing down the mission a little bit more, you then get to another area where it's filled with a whole bunch of different civilians, and here you run into Stella again for like the third time. And once again, you're like, I need a key in order to get past the door. And she's like, well, I don't have a key this time, but I do know a little route that you can sneak through, and you just have to kill a bunch of guys while you do it. So you're like, kill a bunch of guys while I do it? Sweet, I'm gonna go do that. You then sneak into the other area that Stella was talking about, and there also happens to be a whole bunch of other civilians in here as well. And Graves is actually watching this side of it very, very, very closely. And he's kind of pissed off that you're there right now. So he's just kind of like, listen, Robocop, this is your last chance, and I'm going to give you a warning, so here it is. And then he just kind of fills the room with gas, and then just kind of lights everybody on fire and kills them in order to prove his point. Damn. Not knowing that this is pretty much just only going to piss off Robocop just that much more. Now, playing through the mission, you'll eventually run into this character right here, Steve. You'll save him from a bunch of guys that are sitting outside the doorway. You have to give him some tools and stuff like that, and then he's going to help you get through the next couple of rooms. Now, Steve is Stella's boyfriend, and this is going to be important later for another achievement down the road that we'll get to soon. But for now, you just got to get Steve, get to him, get his tools, and then he'll help you get through the next few rooms. Now, these next few rooms that Steve's trying to help you get through are unfortunately filled with all the gas that Graves was releasing into the building, so you can't actually fire any guns, or it's going to cause the entire place to explode. Luckily enough, though, they only send enemies at you that have a whole bunch of katanas, so that's pretty sweet. Just kind of kill them, pick up the katanas, and keep throwing at them, doing that over and over. Now, while Steve's helping you get from room to room, you'll eventually get to this big room that has a big trash compactor thing in the center of it. You'll go up to a computer, you'll activate it, open it, and turn it on, and there's actually an achievement here to kill a guy with it, and that's my next achievement in the game. Just grab a guy, throw him in there, and it's as easy as that. When all is said and done, though, eventually you'll escape all of the gas rooms with the help from Steve and reunite him and Stella. And once again, somehow Stella knows how to get to the floor with all the mercenaries on it, and she has a plan to go through the armory in order to get there. So she tells you her little plan, along with also telling you how her and Steve first met, which is, I don't think, nowhere near as important as the plan itself, but Robocop listens to it anyways.
Are you two in a relationship?
So then we break into that armory like Stella recommended. We grab some goodies along the way, and then I just kill the shit out of a bunch of guys, Robocop style.
We need crossfire! Back! I lost my leg! I can't
Now, remember how I said earlier that Steve would be important for an achievement later? Well, somehow while you were in here killing all the guys in the armory, he was able to sneak in here and somehow get all the way past you to this room over here. And this is where the achievement comes in. You need to get in there and you need to save him. It'll be like a slow motion breach thing. You can miss this achievement if he does get killed here instead of you killing the guys, but honestly, it's quite easy. Just make sure you save him, and that's the next achievement for doing that, because then he's going to go propose to Stella.
Sorry, but I don't think I'll ever repay you.
No need.
I can't wait for when it's all over. I need to tell her. Now.
Good luck.
Now getting a little further into the mission, you'll actually find out that Graves has captured Miranda. He found her. She was trying to help you do some stuff before this, just to fill you in on, you know, things that might be missing to get to this point, but overall she was helping you. Graves didn't like that, so he captured her. Now he has her, and now Robocop has to save the day. And then that pretty much finishes mission number 10, the Lethal Gambit, and unlocks me my next achievement in the game for completing that mission. So very early on into the mission, you'll find Miranda, and she's trapped in this gigantic cage thing with a 10-minute timer above it. And pretty much what Graves did is he gave Robocop a choice. Either take the next 10 minutes trying to save her, or try to stop him. And he knows Robocop too well, and he knows he's going to try to do the right thing, but he also is going to try to do the thing he's programmed to do, which is to save people. And unfortunately, this is a downside of Robocop. In a way, he is still human, but he has to also obey those kind of like programs that have been put into his brain. And Miranda knows this, so she does what good guys do, and she makes the ultimate sacrifice by killing herself in order to make sure Robocop has time to go stop and kill Graves, thus proving that she was actually telling the truth and she actually did want to become a good guy and regretted all the decisions she had made, especially the ones that she had made against Murphy himself. Not gonna lie though, they kind of stole this death from Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan. We then continue the rest of the mission just killing a shit ton of bad guys in order to stop this like helicopter thing from shooting at us, and also to get the Graves in order to stop him as well. To which we eventually succeed, and we end up turning off the plane helicopter pilot gun thing, and then it ends up crashing into the building and dying. We then catch up to Graves for one final showdown to where he tries to getting away in a helicopter, and we have to stop him all Chris Evans Captain America Civil War style. So then Robocop shoots out the back propeller of the helicopter, causing it to crash, and then Graves rolls onto the ground, finally allowing us to have our one-on-one with him after all this time. To which Robocop just pretty much immediately shoots him, unlocking my final achievement in the game for completing the last mission. Yeah. Finished. And then Graves just kind of falls over the edge of the building and gets impaled on a statue of Lady Justice, and that's the end of the game. Credits. He goes right to the credits. Damn. So that's it. That's my journey of getting all the achievements from Robocop Rogue City Unfinished Business. I really hope you guys enjoyed what you watched here today. I know it's not the longest video I've ever made, probably actually the shortest, I believe it is. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I really did enjoy the game. I think both of them were fun, the first one and this one. I think both of them are fantastic. There's much better, bigger, better games out there, but I still enjoyed playing them. Sometimes you just need those little 10-hour games that are just, you know, lose your mind and stop thinking and just shoot stuff that's in front of you. Sometimes it's worth it, and adding Robocop into the mix just makes it all so much better. So with that being said, I give the game a 7 out of 10. I highly recommend it for people to play. Not highly, but I recommend it if you enjoy those kind of things. So thank you everybody once again. Thank you so much. Give me that like, give me that subscribe, that follow, share it with other people. And remember, Suicide Squad kill the Justice League. I'll do it. You subscribe, I'll do it. Thank you everybody once again, and until next time, I'm your host, Psychotic Mr. L. Hi guys, so yes, thank you for watching this video you just watched. If you liked it, if it helped you in any way or whatever, I got these 2 other ones right over here that you can also watch as well, wherever they may be, somewhere on the screen. But yes, thank you for watching, and if you liked what you saw, absolutely watch these videos as well. Thank you. Bye.